Hello, everyone in the multiverse and beyond. This is your friend forever, Evan Lefavor, with an important video. Today, we're going to be discussing the secret, hidden Illuminati Evanism connection to the Back to the Future movies, and how the Back to the Future movies are actually based on actual events. Alright? So, if you are watching this video, that means that October 21st, 2015 is now the past. But in case you didn't know what the significance is behind that date, is that in the film Back to the Future Part 2, the characters Doc and Marty time travel into the future. From 1985, they time travel to the year 2015. October 21st, 2015. That is the date that they time traveled in to the future in Back to the Future Part 2. And there are a few things that Back to the Future predicted. Okay? There's a few things that they predicted, and there's some self-fulfilling prophecies like Pepsi Perfect and all the other stuff, the self-lacing Nikes. Alright, I know you can get them as well. And, we don't have flying cars like Back to the Future predicted we would. Alright, but Back to the Future is based on a true story, okay? Because we are living in an alternate 2015 as we speak. Okay, remember in Back to the Future Part 2 where old Biff gets access to the time machine and he takes the time machine into the past and gives himself a book called Gray's Sports Almanac that has the results of all the big sports games from the year 1950 all the way up to the year 2000 okay? So he goes back in time and gives himself this insider information on the future, and it creates an alternate 1985 where Biff, the character Biff, has become one of the richest, most powerful men in America. Alright, and he's turned it into a hellhole. So, in Back to the Future 2, that is based on a true story. Because evil men found a time machine. My time machine. Alright? They got access to one of my time machines that I hid in the past, deep underground. They found it, and it got into evil men's hands, and they found my spaceship time machine, okay? And they tried to figure out how to get it to work, to figure out what it even was. Alright, and it took a very, very long time for them to figure out even how to get inside the spaceship time machine. Alright, but once they figured out how to get inside, later on, they found out how to access the computer inside my spaceship time machine. And on the computer, built into my computer on my spaceship time machine, was a record of the internet from all the way up to the year 3000. Okay, we have internet, so you can access through my computer on my spaceship time machine. You can access the internet at any point in history. It's like time traveling into the future on the internet. Okay, so I had a backup of everything that's on the internet from the internet's inception all the way up to the year 3000 and beyond. So these evil men that got a hold of this information, they found out what was going to happen in the future. All right? Because they figured out how to run the computer on my spaceship time machine. So they got insider information by looking at the internet in the future. All right, they found out how to look at the future's internet. All right, so a few greedy, evil men used this insider information and kept it a secret. Okay, and they tried to pass it off as something else. All right, but basically what they did is they became rich and powerful based on this insider information they had through looking at the internet through my spaceship time machine, because they were seeing the internet before there was ever even an internet or a computer. Okay, they had access to this information. So basically, that is why we're living in an alternate 2015 now, because they have changed the past. Okay, and if you're wondering how I got a time machine, it's because in the future, time travelers from the future time traveled into the past, into my future, and abducted me and brought me to the future. A better future where anything is possible, where time travel is possible. All right? And this is where I met a man that I would find out was my son, Jesus Christ. All right? But at the time, I didn't know it was my son, Jesus Christ, who abducted me and brought me into the future. He kept it a secret from me. But we used time travel to look into the past because I wanted to go back in time. He told me I am the biological father of Jesus Christ. Okay? He told me I was his dad. Even though I didn't know that was my son, I was hearing this information from. All right? But he told me, you are the biological father of Jesus Christ. And I said, well, I want to use time machines to save him from being killed on the cross. So I wanted to go back in time and prevent him from being murdered. All right? And he said, well, he told me, hey, well, it's your destiny to time travel back in time and save Jesus Christ's mother from being murdered. And that it was my duty to protect her and save her in this incident. And that it would lead to her and I conceiving our son, Jesus Christ, using advanced artificial insemination technology that was aboard our spaceship time machine. All right? So, my son Jesus sent me on a mission to go back in time to save his mother and to meet his mother and to eventually conceive our son Jesus Christ. And after we conceived our son Jesus Christ using advanced artificial insemination technology, I returned Jesus Christ's mother to the planet Earth, because we decided that Jesus should have the opportunity to live his life, at least 13 years of his life on planet Earth. And that on his 13th birthday, I would come and take him away from planet Earth into the future in my spaceship time machine, and that he would someday decide whether or not to return to planet Earth. All right, so it got to be Jesus Christ 13th birthday, and I came down with my spaceship time machine and I abducted Jesus Christ at the age of 13. And I brought my son Jesus to the future in my spaceship time machine. Okay? So, Jesus Christ and I, we spent the next 17 years together in the future, in these spaceships in outer space. But right when he was young, we watched a lot of time travel movies, because it was hard to explain to Jesus because he had no technology where he was from, the time period he's from. So it was hard to explain to him all this time travel technology and all this different technology that he was seeing. So we watched a bunch of time travel movies. We watched Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3. We watched the Terminator films. We watched the Bill and Ted movies. Okay, we watched all the great classic time travel movies. All right? And it inspired my son Jesus Christ to want to do some actual time traveling. Okay? So, when Jesus Christ came to the kingdom of heaven, we had, or in my time machine, spaceship time machine, and we brought him to the future, he merged his body with advanced nanotechnology by taking a nanotechnological pill that converted his body atom by atom, cell by cell, into an exact clone, digital body, nanotechnological cloned replica of himself, which made him immortal. All right, so that is how Jesus Christ became an immortal, is when he merged his body with advanced nanotechnology in the future. This allowed him to change his shape. This allowed him to never die, never get sick. It allowed him to cure other people. It allowed him to do all kinds of different things. All right? Change the properties of water. Change the properties of all kinds of different things. Replicate things. Okay? Replicate food. He was able to do all of these things because he had advanced nanotechnology. All right? And I, too, at this point, was merged together with advanced nanotechnology, and I was an immortal as well. All right? So, Jesus Christ and I, we had access to the technology you see in the film The Matrix, where you can go into a consequence-free virtual reality that is indistinguishable from real reality. You can't tell that it's not real. Okay, we have technology like that aboard our spaceship time machines, and when you it allows you to simulate time travel perfectly. All right, so it allowed Jesus Christ and I to simulate time travel, and we went on multitudes of time traveling adventures. All right, all throughout history, all throughout all these different time periods. All right, but Jesus Christ, as he got older, he found a girl. He wanted to look at the time period of where he was born. All right, and what's going on in the world, the time that he was born, around that time. And he found a girl that was born the same year he was, and she grew up and he fell in love with her. All right, so Jesus wanted to return to planet Earth because he was in love with this woman. All right. And so he came back to planet Earth at the age of 30, all right, in his nanotechnological body, all right, that where he can't be killed. He could fake his death. And that's exactly what he did. He faked his death on the cross because he couldn't really die because he's an immortal, because he merged his body with advanced nanotechnology. All right. But before he died on the cross, he had conceived children with the woman he fell in love with, and she became pregnant with twins. And after Jesus Christ was murdered and he returned to the kingdom of heaven, he returned to the future in a spaceship, she was taken to France, where she was able to have the children. Okay? And she was able to carry on the bloodline of Jesus Christ and I in the past. And she gave birth to twins. All right? A boy named Sun and a girl named Pan. All right? And Jesus Christ and I decided to allow Sun to stay on planet Earth with his mother and carry on our bloodline on the planet. And then we decided to bring Pan to the future with us in our spaceship time machine so that she could live in a better world in the future. All right? And Jesus and I and and Pan, Jesus Christ and his daughter Pan, my granddaughter Pan, we went on a bunch of time traveling adventures, simulated ones and real ones. All right, where we went throughout history at different key moments in history, and we were able to abduct historical figures and bring them to the future, and all kinds of other stuff that we did throughout history. So if you want to know more about the specific time traveling adventures that Jesus Christ and I and Pan have gone on throughout history, stay tuned to my channel for more specific videos coming in the future. All right. But so the Back to the Future films, people say there's all kinds of hidden symbolism, that the movie somehow predicts 9/11 because Marty goes, in the beginning of the first film, Marty goes to the Twin Pines Mall, and when you look at the clock upside down, it says 9/11, and there's a clock on the sign of Twin Pines Mall. And when Marty time travels into the past, he knocks down one of those pine trees. He runs it over, and it turns it into Lone Pine Mall. All right, or whatever Pine Mall, with just one pine tree instead of two. So people say that's symbolic for him, or for the Twin Towers getting knocked down and turned into the Freedom Tower. But none of that is intentional. All right, none of that is intentional. The creators of Back to the Future films, Robert Zemeckis, he is an Illuminati, part of the good Illuminati. He is a member of the Army of Heaven, and he did base, as you've heard in this video, he based the Back to the Future films on real events, okay? Because like I said, just like in Back to the Future 3, where Doc Brown hides the time machine deep underground in the past, so that Marty can and him in the future could have access to it. Well, I did the same thing in the past, except evil men found it. They found my time machine. Like I said, they used it for nefarious purposes. They haven't figured out how to actually turn it on and time travel with it yet, but they have found out how to access the internet through the computer on it, right? Like I was saying, Robert Zemeckis, he could have put more subliminal hints about future events, but he really just wanted to make a really cool movie, all right, about time travel when he made Back to the Future, when he made the Back to the Future films, all right? So now you know a little bit more about the connection, all right? Because it's 2015 now, and October 21st, 2015 is in the past as we speak, okay? So it's a wild concept, but it's true, all right? And the Back to the Future films are based on the true time-traveling adventures of my son Jesus Christ and I, and how we've gone through all kinds of different experiences throughout our time-traveling adventures, okay? So check out my channel. Check out the Evan Lefavor, the Father of Jesus Christ playlist that you can find on my channel. And don't forget to subscribe. So thank you so much for watching this video. Now you know the truth about the secret, hidden Illuminati Evanism connection to the Back to the Future movies. All right? And now we are living in the future. It is an alternate future where a lot of evil is going on. All right? But everything happens for a reason. We can't just go backwards in time and try to fix all of these problems we're facing using time travel. We've got to use whatever time we have left on this planet to actually make this world a better place from this moment on. All right? Because that's what we have the power to do at this moment. We have the power to, before it's too late, to rise up and make this world a better place for everyone alive. All right? That's what 2015 is all about. All right? Because if these evil men who are in power right now, if they hadn't did all the evil things they've done to get into power, we might have flying cars right now. We might have hoverboards. Who knows what we might have at this point. Okay? But there's capitalism is slowing down the progress of mankind. Right? So that rich people can stay rich at the sacrifice of actual progress getting made. Okay? So now you know. Now you know the connection to the Back to the Future movies. Because, like I said, in Back to the Future 3, Doc Brown saves Clara Clayton's life. Just like I went back in time and saved Jesus Christ's mother's life. Alright? And just like in Back to the Future 3, Doc Brown was stuck in the past and he hid his time machine deep underground. I did that as well. Alright? Except the wrong people found it in the future. Okay? And I didn't predict that to happen, but what could I do? The time machine was broke down at the time. So it is loosely based on a true story, the Back to the Future films. Alright? And now you know the truth. So I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I am your friend forever, Evan Lefavor, and I will see you next video. Until then, bye-bye.